Yes, Elite Dangerous 3.0 beta, whatever. Here it is. So, is it worth the wait? Or is it worth trying out now? Well, if it was all fantastic, then I suspect most of you could figure out this video wouldn't exist. So on the title page here, we already have a known issue. Wing delivery and collection missions are temporarily unavailable. So one of the frequently touted features is not yet here. Good going. It's not quite as bad as the time when was it multi-crew wasn't in that beta, because that was the feature of that particular beta, and yeah, it wasn't in it. So yeah, it could be worse, sort of. Anyway, it then carries on to say, please proceed to Vonneberg Cooperative in the Weird system for the beta test, where the fast start option for New Horizons commanders begins. All outfitting options are there, or are available there, along with a material trader and a technology broker. Other material traders are nearby in Iranin and Bolg. In fact, you don't have to make your way to Weird at all. Everybody I know who has tried the beta has found that their ship has mysteriously been transported to Vonneberg Cooperative already. And I am one of them. So, yeah, well, let's just start it up and see what it's all about. So here we are. As you can see, the much touted graphical improvements do not apply to docking station interiors. They look exactly the same. Although you don't have to look too far to start seeing the changes, and I freely admit some of the changes really are a case of change for the sake of change. Starting here, you'll notice that in the tabs on the side we have Galaxy Map and System Map as always, but the whole Superpowers thing for Power Play has disappeared. And you might think, oh, at last they've listened to sense and got rid of Power Play. Unfortunately not, it's now over here. There it is. Oh joy, so it's still there. So now, yeah, we have, well, the two previous options, the Hollow Me and the Engineers, but now you can access Galnet. Quite why they felt it necessary to put it there, because I mean, previously it was not that difficult to access. It was in Galactic Powers, and instead of taking you straight here, you had the option to check out who you were pledged to, or check out that main status, or read Galnet. But now they've decided that it's a great idea to spare you having to press, a second key, or make a second mouse click, which is really good of them. Next to it is Play Galnet News. I'll come back to that in a second. Actually, no, I won't. I'll cover it now, because this is definitely one of those things that is a change for the sake of change. It is nothing more than a gimmick. It's an audio recording of the main Galnet stories. Observe.
New technology from Aegis. Aegis has expanded its roster of anti-Thargoid technologies with a new device, the Decontamination Limpet. The device is specifically designed to
blah 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 blah. It's one of those things where you are almost certainly going to try it once and never ever try it again. If we go into the actual Galnet news, so now you just mouse over and you get the actual story, and then you get like your playlist. So you see this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, blah blah blah. Now you can completely clear that, and if you click on it, you then get you can play the audio, or you can play the next one. You can completely remove it from the queue, so you can do it you know, completely manually. But there is a bit of a problem with the text to audio system that they have got. Listen to the way it pronounces some of this stuff. Oh, fucking hell.
Thargoid assault continues. Reads rest in Myro and opposite.
What was that? Reads rest in where?
Thargoid assault continues. Reads rest in Myro and opposite.
Myrope. So Merope has become Myrope. Okay.
The orbital in Maya are the latest starports to.
Now it does pronounce Maya right, but it certainly doesn't fucking sound right. This is no, it's not that one. Not that one. There was one where it was quoting. Oh, here we go. Right, this one here. Okay.
1 year on. It has now been a year since the Thargoids returned to human-occupied space. In that time, they have become increasingly aggressive, with their hostility culminating in starport attacks in the Pleiades Nebula.
Pleiades.
Thargoids' intentions have been made clear. The question many are asking is, what can we do? Outspoken political commentator Daxton offered the following analysis. The situation continues to.
That's a horrible way it says the name Daxton Sung. Anyway, carry on.
Escalate, and our leaders continue to offer the same tired platitudes, militaristic bombast from Hudson, non-committal banality
Hudson.
from Lavini Duville, and earnest sympathizing from Mahon.
Mahon.
It's clear that they.
I know. I think it does say Lavigny Duval somewhat right, but again, it just doesn't sound right because of the direct text-to-speech thing. And then, yeah, Mahon instead of Man. So it just cannot do names at all. If there are ones that will have, you know, like system names, here we go. Oh, we've got to play this. How does it pronounce that name?
Eliminating slavers in Gagaini. Princess Duval has announced plans to fund a peacekeeping operation in the Gagaini system.
Whoa, hang on a minute, hang on.
The purpose is to neutralize an illegal slave trading ring in the region.
Well, its pronunciation of the system, I thought it was Guagaini. It's not as terrible as I thought, but how did it say her name?
Eliminating slavers in Gagaini. Princess Duval has announced plans to.
Princess Aisling Duval has announced plans. It's yeah. Anyway, as I say, it is just a fucking gimmick that really is not worth bothering with. And when you hear how it pronounces a lot of names and a lot of systems, you really will not want to go back to it. Yes. Now, other changes, most of the stats actually look the same, although we now have these rather prominent dividers between each section. given how often all of the text and dividers and everything all gets moved around, because the game is so sloppily put together, I can only imagine the sort of state that this will end up in at some point. Anyway, so under crime there's now this notoriety thing. Mine is at 0. I suspect so is everybody's. I don't know what it is. I don't care what it is. And I think the only other change is that. But also, yeah, in encounters, it now doesn't have, you know, the same information printed out twice, which, yeah, is a good idea, because I just didn't see the point of it. I assume there will be more encounters info that crops up when, or as and when it happens, but you know, I haven't had anything so far. And we have material trader stats. So yeah, the whole stats thing hasn't really changed all that much. Not that big a surprise. Now, one area that has changed, materials. Whereas prior to this you could carry 1,000 of whatever in total, now you can carry up to 100 of every single kind, which is quite handy actually. So now there's no danger of running out of space. Well, there is danger of running out of space, but I mean, let's face it, you've got to get an absolute fuck ton of stuff. And once you have discovered a particular material or whatever, it will appear here even if you then run out of it. So these two examples here, Thargoid organic circuitry and Thargoid technological components, I found both of those. I have had some, but I don't have any now, and so as a result, 0. Now, one thing that I have read that I have not been able to confirm yet is that when you find a material, it's back to only having one of it. So if you pick it up, you do only get one instead of 3. I have a feeling that's not going to last very long, because you do now need an awful lot of these materials. And the fag is still lit. Same with data. I'm sure there are a lot of new data packets that can be picked up. Again, you can have 100 of each. So I have had a normal compact emissions data, but I don't have any at the moment, which is a pain in the arse actually, because I could do with some for a particular engineer upgrade. Except of course engineer upgrades have changed. I haven't seen for myself yet what what those changes are, but I haven't heard a great deal of positive things about them. In fact, I haven't seen very much in the game so far, because every time I've started up the beta, which I've only done twice, all I do is look around here and think, and then just exit again. Anyway, under synthesis, we can now synthesize AX ammo. So that one for the AX multi-cannons, this one for the old remote flak launcher, and then down here for the old AX missile rack. So you need propulsion elements, which I have not found. Thargoid organic circuitry I've not found, and biomechanical conduits, which I've not found. Not really all that fussed about them, because I almost never use synthesis to get myself some more ammo. Although with AX weapons, it could prove to be quite useful. So I might have to actually make a bit of an exception with that one. So even though the old data link scanner has supposedly changed a bit, it's still here as just its single thing. Anyway, so that's all the changes there. Now, next up is the thing that a lot of people, and I freely admit, me being one of them, is focusing on, is the new ship, which is the Chieftain. There we are. The Alliance Chieftain has been designed not only to dish out punishment, but to avoid it. Manufactured by Lakon Spaceways, the Chieftain is more manoeuvrable than ships of similar size and weight, and its combat profile means it can more than hold its own in a fight. The ship also boasts 3 internal military compartments, allowing the pilot to equip a shield cell bank, hull reinforcements and module reinforcements, unlike any other ship with a military compartment. This ship requires at least a medium-sized landing pad to dock, blah blah blah. Now, according to this, everything is worse than what I currently have. And considering I'm in an Anaconda, I find that rather hard to believe. So it's yeah, manoeuvrability is currently showing as 0. So it's saying about how manoeuvrable it is, and yet it's showing manoeuvrability as off the scale, but in the very negative way. That sounds like a load of cobblers to me, so that obviously isn't working. So it has, well, I'll tell you what, let's just buy the fucking thing and let's have a look at what it has for ourselves. So it costs just shy of 19 million. And that is full price. There's no discounts here in Weird, so we paid full whack for it. So here's the cockpit view. It's, well, clear straight ahead and up and left and right. You're not going to be seeing anything below you. So before we go to the outfitting, I'll just also point out remote workshop currently says that I have no pinned blueprints. Outside of the beta, I have something like 17 pinned blueprints, so why it's decided to clear them all, I don't know, but it's fucking annoying. Anyway, right, let's outfit this thing then. Now, I must admit, I am somewhat interested in having this ship because, well, I think it could be useful as a combat vessel against Thargoids. So fitting AX weapons to it. Anyway, let's fully A-rate it because there's not much point in trying this thing. If it's just, you know, gonna have a few small upgrades. Alright, so what's its jump range going to be with that? Around 20. Well, for a combat vessel that's not too bad, but of course it's got a lot more stuff to be fitted to it, so yeah, we'll stick the 5A on. It's a decent sized power distributor, so I can't imagine weapons charging is going to be a problem. And the sensors are nice and cheap. since they are only class 4. So with the hard points then, we have two class 3s, one class 2, and 3 rather pathetic class 1s. So that means I would only be able to fit 3 what do you call them, AX weapons on this thing. That's a bit of a pain in the arse. Well, I'm not going to fit AX weapons on it at the moment, so let's give it a couple of class 3 actually no. Alright, we'll give it a couple of class 3 pulse lasers. Probably be a fair old power draw. This is probably going to be a really fucking awful loadout. 2 class 3 pulse lasers and everything else that I'm going to fit to it. Alright, so we'll, for this, I don't fucking know, fuck it, bung a cannon on it. And so yeah, for the moment I'll go back to my old layouts, so we'll stick cannons on everything else. Class 1 cannons I always thought were a little bit fucking puny, but what the hell. And the final cannon here. Alright, so pulse lasers and cannons, that's it. Right, utility mounts, let's, well, I definitely want a heat sink on it. Where are they? There you are. And then let's bung on a chaff launcher. And a point defense. Means it's only going to have 1 shield booster, which is, yeah, normally I would prefer to have at least 2. Oh well, can't have everything. Okay, so now to the optional internals, which is the real Achilles heel of this ship, because it doesn't have a great deal of them. Well, it can have a class 5 shield generator, so let's bung that on. Then we have one more class 5. Well, actually no, I won't put the fuel scoop there, I'll put class 4 fuel scoop on it. This thing doesn't have a very large fuel tank, so I'm hoping a class 4 fuel scoop will be good enough. For 5, actually no, I won't put, I can't think what to put on there. Well, fuck it, for now we'll give it a decent sized cargo rack. Well, I say decent size. See, I just thought, right, okay, planetary vehicle hangar, well, it's only going to have room for 1. So, why is this one marked as a turreted? So you can have a turreted planetary vehicle hangar or a fixed planetary vehicle hangar. That's handy, isn't it? Alright, so let's bung the scarab in there. And we might as well have the advanced discovery scanner. I don't have a detailed surface scanner because there's no room for it. And then for the military compartments, okay, so let's bung a shield cell bank on. And then let's bung on some hull reinforcement. Right, well there you go. So I have no idea if this is a decent loadout or not. I suspect it's not, but that's the loadout I've given it with absolutely no thought whatsoever. Alright, let's just sort out the fire groups. So alright, well that didn't take long. Modules, so you don't really need any changing as such because they're all pretty fine, I think. I think that is it, yep. Right, there we go. Right. Now, before we head off anywhere, the technology broker and material trader. Now, what the technology broker does is basically give you the chance to, well, have some new weapons. And even though there are 6 options, there's only actually 3 weapons here. As you can see from the amount of resources required, your capacity to store up to 100 of each particular material is certainly needed, because for this thing here, the remote released Fletchit launcher, whatever the fuck that is, Fletchit launcher capable of firing a remotely detonated Fletchit round, hold trigger to delay. Okay, so basically it's the remote flak launcher, but not an AX version. I can see absolutely no use for that at all. So it needs rhenium. That must be a new material. I don't remember seeing that before. Isn't rhenium the element that was named because all of its compounds were a sort of blood red colour? I think that is it. Anyway, so yeah, you need all this number of all of them in order to be able to get or unlock it. It won't give it to you. I suspect you then have to pay for it once you've unlocked it. So that comes as a fixed or a turreted version. Then we have the shock cannon. Cannon capable of firing almost as fast as the trigger can be pulled. Firing very accurate, fast moving energy projectiles that can do high damage if successful shots land. Yeah, yeah, if successive shots land, that's makes me think that it's not got that powerful a punch initially. You got to get quite a few hits. The weapon has a built-in auto-loading action. That will slowly reload over time. If the clip empties completely, a longer full reload will be undertaken. That only functions as a turret when there is an active gunner roll on board. So in other words, buying the turret is utterly pointless, because how many people actually have actually bother using multi-crew? about as many as actually still do power play, I think. So I don't see any reason why anybody would want to get this thing, especially if you need 28 technician. So then we have the fixed version, which actually needs 30 technicians, so I mean it's even more difficult. And then we have this one which just says shot cannon, but it is of course the gimbaled one. So you have turreted, fixed or bugger all, even though it would be handy for it to tell us that this is the gimbaled version. And finally the Enzyme missile rack. Enzyme missiles are a first attempt at replicating the Thargoid's organic hull corrosion weaponry. What a surprise. Although not as dangerous as the alien version, yeah, surprise, surprise again. This newly created enzyme does effectively catalyse all types of human hull armour at point of contact. Tests on alien hulls have proven ineffective, with the enzyme being immediately neutralised by the skin of the ships, even on long-death Thargoid hulls. Even on long-death Thargoid hulls. Does it mean long-dead Thargoid hulls? Great proofreading there, guys. The missile does not penetrate shields. Well, that makes it unique among missiles. Only applying the caustic burn when dealing damage to the hull. So if you are one of those players who likes to use missiles as a way of taking out shields on a ship, this one isn't for you. Then again, this game isn't for you. So yeah, I suspect getting hold of the Thargoid organic circuitry and energy cell is going to be a bit of a pain in the arse, but yes. So that's the technology broker. I can only hope that technology brokers on other stations will offer other weapons, because none of those weapons interest me in the slightest. Okay, onto the material trader. I must admit, this is something that, well, countless people refuse to believe that I will ever do this, but I do actually, you know, give praise when praise is due as far as this game is concerned. And I do think that the material trader is quite well done. Now the first thing to point out is that certainly with this one, it may be different on other material traders, but there are no elemental materials here. It's all the loot stuff. So if you need elemental materials, you've still got to go out and find them. But I do quite like the way it's done. I always thought that what it would be is just, you know, turn up at a material trader and pay X number of credits for the particular material you wanted, which would have made it ludicrously easy. In fact, it is much more literal. You trade existing materials you have in order to get the particular material that you want. And it's never just a straight one for one. So for example, if I wanted to, let's say I wanted to get one of these chemical processors here, and I had some of these chemical storage units, which I don't. In order to get one chemical processor, I would have to trade 3 chemical storage units. If I wanted to use chemical storage units to get pharmaceutical isolators, I would have to trade 81 chemical storage units to get 1 pharmaceutical isolator. So it you know, all works on the grade of whatever it is you're trying to trade. Now improvised components, I don't have any, so that's the one I'm looking for. And now it will tell us what I can trade for it, and I don't have a lot that I can trade, so I can give up 6 of these exquisite focus crystals and get one improvised component, or 6 military supercapacitors, or 6 configurable components, or 6 biotech conductors, or 6 military grade alloys, and I would get one improvised component for each one. There you go. So if we confirm it, there we go. So I've lost 6 of the configurable components, but I now have one improvised component. Isn't that handy? I could do with some of these filament composites. So well, I've got plenty of these. So what I'll do, so I'll offer 2 of those, and I will receive 9 filament composites. There we go. So I think that works quite well. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Right, well, shall we launch and see what this new ship is like then? Yes, I think we shall.
Ship detach complete. Access corridor is clear.
It's a bit sluggish coming off the landing pad. Even a Type 10 comes off the pad quicker than this. Engine noise is a bit quiet, but not as quiet as the Type 10. What's the booster like? Yeah, interesting.
Way ahead is clear. Stay safe, Commander.
Right, we're outside the no fire zone. See what it's like when we are engaging the enemy. So its speed will be, well, if I'm attacking, 72. Maneuverability is acceptable, but not much more than that. That's 2 class 3 pulse lasers firing away, and no problem at all with power levels. Yeah, that's not bad. Okay, let's go into Super Cruise. Oh yeah, what the hell if I did that? Right, let's try that again, going into Super Cruise. And see if we can find a particular unidentified signal source that I want to find. So we'll go to set course for Weird, the actual star, which is not that far away. Discovered new signal source, that's what I'm looking for. Right. What are you? Non-human, that's what I'm looking for. Threat 4, that's what I'm looking for. Okay. Because we have new Thargoid ships. Although if you've seen any of the publicity stuff, you should know what they are. And these Thargoid ships, I believe, are called Marauders, and you do not need AX weaponry to take them out. Here we are.
Warning, shield breach attack. Under attack. Taking damage.
Now, because I haven't got the AX scanner, I can't actually scan the fucking thing. So I don't know how much damage I'm doing, which is a bit cuntish really. But yes, there's no hearts on them or anything like that. So my shields are running quite low. Not surprising really, because I've got 4 of these fuckers attacking me. Okay, there's one down. Yeah, because I flew right through the fucking cloud like fucking dickwad. I haven't really got that close to them yet, so I haven't actually been able to show them. You know, there you go. They are the ones that we all know from the original Elite. Oh, fucking hell, I need that. See, considering how difficult these fucking pains in the arse are. Okay, well, I say difficult, that wasn't too tough. Now of course I'm taking damage because I stupidly flew through that caustic cloud. And I haven't got the limpet needed to repair. I've also just thought this is the first combat I've been in for fucking ages. Anyway, I was going to say something there and I've completely forgotten what it was. I think it was something along the lines of, yeah, I think this is where we're going to be getting a lot of the Thargoid related materials. Oh, fuck off. Right, get out away from that fucking cloud. Right, now let's see what we got here. Weapon parts, so yeah, it's all the stuff that we were somewhat expecting. I'm not going to bother picking any of it up though, because I'm just going to go back and land, because I was only coming here to show what that's all about. I'm still taking damage because of course I've got the corrosive stuff all over me. If I was to overheat to about, I think it's about 200 degrees, let's see if this will do the trick. Yeah, but it's nowhere near high enough. Of course, yeah, pulse lasers don't overheat the thing fast enough. So that didn't work. Anyway, yeah, if you can overheat to about 200%, that then negates the corrosive damage. Anyway, we now need to land and get this caustic gunk removed from the ship's hull. And because I forgot to change or add armour to this hull, it may not take very long for it to completely bollocks up my ship. It's already down to 66%. know that.
Lakon, Lima Uniform Kilo. This is Federal Flight Control. Request docking if you wish to land. Permission authorized. Proceed to landing pad 30.
I think as far as the thrusters go, this ship definitely needs engineering. Actually, as far as every aspect of it goes, it needs engineering.
Maintain current heading until further instruction.
If you insist. Now, of course, the thing with the design of the Chieftain is that, yes, it's combat specific, and yet, you know, it's designed in such a way that all of the thrusters can easily be fucking blasted off the ship because they're all out on struts and everything else. But of course, there we go. But of course, it's not as simple as that. The way the game is set up, you can't just target the wings and blow off the thrusters or anything like that. So it does look like it's fairly fragile. In reality, it's not that fragile. So yeah, just ignore that. I want to go down into outfitting because I forgot to fit the armour. I do believe there is a new kind of armour available as well, and it probably won't surprise you to hear what it is. It is the one that finally uses the caustic resistance. But yeah, it's only available to ships of a certain size, and I can't remember what it is. So yeah, this is really going to fucking impact on my jump range. Oh well. Alright, that's better. So that class as combat bondo.
Incoming message.
Oh. Alright, what's that done? Pilots Federation status has been raised to cordial. Well, I'm pretty sure in the main game it's been raised beyond that already. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. When you first start up the beta, you get this message here. Greetings, Commander. This is a Pilots Federation bulletin. Jik Naxon, I'd love to have heard the text-to-speech thing trying to say that one. Jik Naxon Enterprises has installed a free software upgrade to your ship's data link scanner. You will now be able to interrogate larger structures to find key targets and their sub-targets. We are sure you will find the improved performance and utility invaluable during your forthcoming voyages. Yeah, fucking fascinating. Alright, so where to now? Well, I want to see what the other material traders, that's the fucking things. I want to see what they are like, and yeah, it said that they are available in bulk and in what's Iranian, that's it. So let's surely it's at Azerbaijan City then. What am I doing? I can have a look. Material trader, there we go. One other thing, I didn't show the galaxy map. There are some changes in the galaxy map. When we go into Allegiance, you will see Thargoids and Guardians. Now, I don't know where any Guardians systems are, but I do know where there is a Thargoid one. If we go out to here, where my as I was saying, go here to where my ASP has been somewhat stranded. Here you will see planet or system HIP 17862, which is a Thargoid system. It's the only one I've been able to find. I spent, oh fucking hell, I spent seconds looking. There we go, there's another one here. Pleiades sector OD-SB4-1, another Thargoid one. So, oh, and there's another one down here. That one there. So there are, well, 3 that I've found. I haven't found any Guardians ones yet, as I say, but I'm sure they're out there. Right, anyway, let's go back to where we are. Right, so we want to head to Iranin and check out the material trader that they have there. Now, I never thought I would see the day when I would say what I'm about to say, but so far, what I've seen in Beta 3, I quite like. And of course, you know, all the fucking brown nosers who, you know, watch my videos despite knowing that I'm almost certainly going to piss them off. They don't believe that I ever say anything positive about the game, which is of course utter fucking bollocks. But yeah, here we are with what I can only say is a fairly impressive start. But I have so far not tried looking for any materials. In fact, shit, that's what I should have done, was picked up some of those materials and seen if I do only get 1 or if I do get 3. Oh well, I'll try that again in a sec. Anyway, yes, I haven't done that, and I haven't tried the new engineers thing, which, I say, loads of people really hate. This is where I find out that picking up a class 4 fuel scoop was a really shitty idea because it's so slow. Surely I can go more than 130 something. Right, well the heat's up to 62. That's as close as I want to go, and it's at 150. Well, it's no worse than having the class 5 on my cutter.
Fuel scooping complete.
Or was it a class 6? I think it was a class 6 actually. Now, of course, there are downsides to the beta already. The worst one, by a fucking distance, is the fact that the brown noses are back, and they are back in force. If you look on the forums and look at any thread that is criticising the beta, doesn't matter how constructive the criticism is, you can be sure that within about 8 replies there is at least one brown noser who has come along and completely dismissed it and doing nothing but, you know, saying shut up whinging, whilst at the same time they themselves are whinging at people who are criticising their beloved. So some of the old aspects of Elite Dangerous have returned, as well as the new things. That's a return which is about as welcome as throat cancer. So, I mean, be in no doubt, there is a lot about this game that I don't like, and you know, you don't have to look too hard to find a video that I have made where I'm pointing out things I don't like about the game. But the worst thing about it, by a mile, the single worst thing about it is the community. The brown-nosing fucking heaps of shit.
Stay containment uniform, Kilo. This is an Alliance starport. Please request docking permission prior to landing.
And
Make your way to landing pad 20.
and they do make the online side of the game, you know, the actual, you know, getting involved in the community, if you really must do that, they do make it such a fucking hateful experience that a lot of people, not just me, plenty of people I know, want nothing to do with it. But because they are so fucking brain dead and so fucking narrow-minded, they don't see that. They haven't got a fucking clue. They are still insistent that what they're saying is right and what everybody else says is wrong.
Landing gear deployed.
And they cannot see that them being an absolute bunch of fucking wankers is the reason that the number of people who actually participate in group events, in community events, and actually play the open mode is so small. The overwhelming majority of players now play either in private groups or in solo. Anyway, so here we are then at Azerbaijan City, where the grass is green. I can't believe I was about to do that. Right, material trader. Right, let's have a look. So, well, this one does data packets, which is quite handy because I do need these abnormal compact emissions data. So, right, what do I? Fucking hell. Well, okay, it's half the amount of decoded emission data I've got, but I now only get one. Oh dear, that's not too good. But then, you know, I've got no problem with that. You know, it shouldn't be a matter of, right, let's just turn up, dump a load of useless shit and get one of the, you know, get loads of the decent one I got. So, yeah, I'm fine with that. Okay, well in that case, let's check out Bolg. If I can find it. It's been a long time since I was in this part of space. This is all where the old beaters used to be. So we'll head here. Moxon's Mojo, that's the name that definitely sounds familiar. And we'll see what the materials trader there is all about. So surely he will have the well, I'm hoping anyway, he will have
Detached sequence complete. Allow for oncoming traffic in the access corridor.
yeah, I'm hoping he will have elemental materials, which would be useful. Right, off we go.
Charging.
All clear. Darkon signing off.
4, 3, 2, 1.
fuel scooping.
Fuel scoop.
While we're doing that, before anybody else complains that I haven't shown it yet, here we go. Right, the exterior view. If I...
Scooping complete.
Oh, bollocks. How do I... Yeah, here we go. I'll try and remember how I've got this fucking configured. Zoom out. Where's right, up? And how do I turn it? Oh, hang on, I think it's yeah. You can see how often I use the old external camera. So anyway, that's what the thing looks like anyway. So there you go. I have done an exterior view of it now. Now there is still other changes that I plan to show, one of which I'll show once we've landed at Bolg here, once we are at Moxon's Mojo.
3, 2, 1. Fuel scooping.
Yeah, I didn't realise it was that fucking far away.
Fuel scooping complete.
Yeah, that's fucking handy. I got rid of all of those ages ago. I'm not sure how far back this has gone, but it's given me, well, I now have 1,078,000,000. Well, I did have 1,166,000,000, so it's cost me less than 100 million to fully upgrade and outfit this thing. That's not bad. But yeah, in the actual, you know, proper game, I'm back up to something like 1,200,000,000. You may have noticed that I got an Anaconda, the ISV Oumuamua, which has replaced the Type 10 that I had, because the Type 10 was a fucking dismal failure. It was too fucking slow and no good for anything. At least not if you fly like I do. Oh, also, there were other things that I was going to be pointing out on the Galaxy map, and I got distracted because the old man thought it was absolutely essential that he tell me to that he's going out, and in order to do it as discreetly as possible, he thought he would drag it out for as long a time as he could. So here we are then.
Uniform Kilo. Observe docking reservation protocols. Submit a request before landing. Request approved. Clear to
If you watched the any of the live streams, which I didn't, and I only saw about 10 minutes, if that, of the first two combined, didn't watch any of the third one, you'll know that if you're wanted,
Maintain approach. Prep for landing.
this whole business approaching docking stations and all that, you can appear as anonymous
Landing gear deployed.
if you're not scanned, that is, so you can then dock safely. But then I don't see the point in that, because if you can get in without being scanned, why would you want to come in as anonymous? Just come in as yourself. So I think what they need to do there is make it an optional thing. Because if you do come in as anonymous, a lot of options here are unavailable to you. You can't, I don't think you can hand in exploration data. You have no access to the crew lounge, but that's no big deal. But I think also you can't do missions or passenger thing, or I'm not even sure if you can access the commodities market. You can't do outfitting. I mean, there's so little you can do once you've arrived, you know, anonymously, that I think it's more of a fucking hindrance than anything else. Anyway, what does material trader do here? Yes, okay, so it is raw materials. So this one does do your what do you call them? Yeah, it does your what you call them. So if I want rhenium, I can trade pretty much whatever I like. So right, 6 of, I forget what I was even looking at here, to get 1 rhenium. There we go, that's 6 nickel. And with here, so if I trade 2 polonium, I get 27 rhenium. There you go. So now suddenly I have more rhenium than any other fucking material, even though I didn't have any at all to begin with. So yeah, it can and does provide or prove to be quite useful. Right, there's no more putting it off. Let's go and have a look then at the fucking engineer and see just how bad new engineering is. So let's go back to weird. And head to Dickwad on here. As you can see, the new planetary surfaces. I haven't actually looked at any of the planets closely to see if they have made a huge difference. So I guess this is as good a time as any. I also forgot to show the other fucking thing that I was going to show. I'll do it when we arrive at... it's not that big a deal. All it is, you can change the voice of the ship's computer. It's not always this one. You can change it to some blokes. In fact, I'll take out the SRV and yeah, change that one so you can hear how the 2 different ones sound. Oh, great. I always love it when my destination is right behind the fucking docking station I've just left. Right, off we go. I wonder if you're having as much fun watching this video as I am making it. Where's the fucking planet?
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete.
Yeah, I guess that class 4 fuel scoop isn't doing too badly. I wonder how many fucking chieftains have been modded by this engineer so far in this beta. He's probably already sick of the sight of these fucking ships.
Orbital flight engaged.
I seem to be coming in a bit fast. I also seem to be coming in at a rather shallow angle. Better. Yeah. Yeah, it's always great when I want to check out what the new planetary graphics look like, and it has me landing on the dark side of the planet. Really helpful, that. Right, where am I landing? Right over here.
Docking permission authorized. You may proceed to landing pad 07.
Looks like I rather overestimated just how quickly I was approaching this pad. Shot that. Fuck it, that'll do. Alright.
Docking procedure completed. Ship secured. Greetings, Commander.
So, yeah, he does absolutely fucking everything. So, well, let's start with power distributors. So I have to put a grade 1 on, whichever one I want to do. In fact, I didn't mean to do distributors, I wanted to do power plant, there we go. Right, and I want the overcharged power plant, which uses sulfur. So I have to go through all of the grades every fucking time. Okay, so it's been improved. It's going to be improved by the same amount every single time, is it? And I've done it once. Right, so does that mean I've got to... So I have to wait for that to get round before I... Oh, hang on, no, right, here we go. 2, right. So this will improve it by... Oh, hang on. Okay, so... I assume then the... Hang on, no. The orange value is what it's already at. Is that what it's saying? Of course I can't fucking see from here, can I? Or can I? Hang on. Power plant. Power capacity is at 28. Right. So that's that orange value. So if I do it again, it will go up to 28.22. So there's no variation. Everybody who comes here in an A grade or an A with an A rated power plant in a Chieftain will get these same results. So instead of the engineers making your ship more or less unique, the chances are everybody's going to end up with exactly the same fucking engineering. So with this one then, this will take it up to 29.74. The integrity and heat efficiency goes down again. There is an experimental effect. What's this? Alright, stripped down. Key components are replaced with versions crafted with additional blah blah blah, so the mass gets reduced and it costs that much in, yeah, additional hardened blah blah blah, integrity goes up. Right, heat efficiency is improved with those ones, monstered. Oversized reinforced components increase power, cost of increased mass. I'm not interested in that. Right, well those experimentals all look shit. Right, okay, so we generate that one. And yeah, there you go. So the next one will increase it to, hang on a minute, 28.6. Well, didn't it say it was going to increase it to 29 point something? So, well, it's only at 28.63. So where's this 29? So I have to go through all of the different ones. So let's say, right, so that's a quarter. So right, so if I do it 4 times, I will then have 29.74. Yeah, I'm loving this. Right. Okay, well, right, so that's power plants. What about right, what's the actually armor? Because my armor is currently really heavy, so I could do with, I don't know if I really want lightweight armor actually. The whole boost is reduced, not by a hell of a lot. Mass is reduced by a decent amount, and kinetic, well, all of the resistances are increased. What I really want is, I forget, is it blast resistant armor? Yeah, and then my, oh, fuck it hell. I'm just getting this overwhelming feeling of I can't be arsed. Oh fuck it, I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's only a beta, so it's only gonna, you know, I'm gonna lose it all anyway. Right. Okay. So, oh yeah, so yeah, the mass was reduced, but by 15%, not reduced down to 127 tons. It's been reduced to 136. Okay, let's do it again. Still not done it enough to unlock the second grade, so we'll do it again. Oh, now I can unlock the second grade. Right, so conductive components. Yeah, it makes sense. You need conductive components for lightweight armor. So right, let's see what that does. Alright, so it's down to 120.69. Alright, let's have a look at the experimentals here. Right, angled plating. Kinetic resistance improves, but hull boost doesn't. And then explosive resist, and that does hull boost, but my resistances go to shit. And thermal resistance, yeah. None of those interest me. I'm really not fussed about experimental you know, effects on any of the yeah. Alright, so what about like lightweight? So it's miscellaneous lightweight. I'll tell you what, alright, because obviously on all of my 3 main ships, I've got, like, you know, grade 4s and 5s of everything. Surely I do not have to start again like this. Oh, I guess there's only one way to find out, isn't there? Anyway, let's yeah. Well, let's get as far away from here as possible, actually. And we'll take out the SRV, and we will find out how much of each material I get.
Ship released. Departure authorized. Automated flight control protocol now offline. Thanks.
I don't want to be in the still within the no fire zone. Alright, so let's make our way down.
Lighting gear deployed.
Trying to not thud into the ground like I did when I landed at the at that engineer's place, especially as I'm currently on unsuitable terrain. Apparently this is fine. Yeah. Right. See what happens here.
Drive assist on.
Wow, those lights really help. Fuck it. Alright, so let's check out what this thing is up ahead. I had a feeling that was going to go tits up. Alright. Manganese. Now, how much manganese do I have? So I've got 15. Let's see how many I have once I pick this up.
Cargo scoop deployed.
I have 18. Well, there you go. So it is picking them up at 3s. So whatever the fuck that was going on about on the forums there was absolute bollocks. Alright, let's go back to the ship then. So the next thing to test then is to see if I do have to start again from scratch with my grade 5 upgrades that I have for my existing ships. In which case I'll try the Anaconda because it's the closest one. This is not going well. I can't fit under here. Yes I can. Sort of. Oh, for fuck's sake. Right, fucking thing's lit. Now get in there. Right, let's get the fuck off of here.
Landing gear retracted.
Right, I want I don't want down there. I want there. Seeing as that's where my Anaconda is now. Oh, I can't fucking just. Anyway, I'm gonna. I'll do that.
Drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
And this is me having cut down. So yeah, I don't like the new engineers thing, which is no surprise because hardly anybody else does. But I don't mind everything else I've seen. And you know, when you consider the track record that this game has, that is a fucking phenomenal success for this lot. Yeah, they have bollocksed up the engineers, but it's proven to be such a bone of contention. I can't believe it's going to stay that way. I think they're going to do, surely they've got to do something. Of course, what I forgot to do was bookmark any fucking any engineer blueprint, so I couldn't test it out in the station here. So I'm doing well. But I mean, at least unlike the multi-crew beta, there's nothing here that I think is so shit that it's laughable. I mean, I do genuinely think, you know, that there are more good things here than shit things. And I can't believe I'm saying that. And I dare say there are plenty of people watching this video who also can't believe I'm saying that. But yeah, it is true. A lot of people, again on the forums, are complaining that the amount of grinding they're going to need to do to get all of the materials they need for, you know, shit like the technology broker. I don't think many people are going to bother with a technology broker, to be honest. And you know, also, you know, having to do the grind of getting the materials to you know, get all of their upgrades back up to grade 1 and, or, you know, from grade 1 back up to grade 5.
Lacon, Lima Uniform Kilo. Federal Flight Control Channel open. Observe docking protocols if you wish to land. Request approved. You are clear for approach to pad 07.
Yeah, as I was going to say, I'm not too worried about that, because I've got so fucking little to do in the game anyway. And the last few times that I started up the game, you know, proper, not the beta version, I would literally boot it up, look for somewhere to go, can't find somewhere, and close it again.
7 meters from touchdown.
Where am I going? 7. Okay.
Landing gear deployed.
Right, so let's change the ship.
Contact. Systems offline.
So we'll jump into the old jalopy and see what happens. Right, here we are. So we'll take this thing then back to Black Hide. In fact, yeah, with the materials broker now, You may as well pick up every fucking material you find. Yeah, again, yeah. And problem lies where? In fact, what I might do, if I find another of those unidentified signal sources, I'll see how the Xeno weaponry affects those things. If it does any more damage than, you know, the regular weapons. Now, I'm very rusty when it comes to exiting and entering docking stations in the Anaconda, and I keep fucking it up. Let's see if I can actually get it right this time. Nope, that's what I keep doing.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Let's see what we get here. Oh, I just remembered also there's one other change that no one likes, and with good reason. I may not use them very often, but the kill warrant scanner, yeah, it's no longer anywhere near as useful as it used to be. Now, now, if you use it, it will only give you the highest bounty that is on that ship. It doesn't give you all of them. The reason being, this is Frontier Development's explanation, is it's not compatible with the new crime and punishment and bounty system. Translate that into the real reason, they don't know and can't be bothered how to implement it so that it works in the way that it should. So, well, doesn't look like I'm taking on any more Thargoids yet.
Orbital flight engaged.
Why do I have a horrible feeling I'm not going to like what I see here?
Docking permission authorized. You may proceed to landing pad 08.
Landing gear
Right,
deployed.
where is 08? And then hit right underneath me. Yeah. I'm sure everybody in this base would love to see an Anaconda flying like this on the approach to its landing pad. Yeah, can't even slow it down because of the gravity. I was wondering when it would actually show up. Alright, let's just get out. Alright, let's see what we get this time.
Docking procedure completed. Ship secured. Greetings, Commander.
Yeah. Alright. It doesn't really matter because I won't keep anything that I get. Modifications will be converted to new engineer standards. So, your previously upgraded module requires conversion to the new standard. To accomplish this, the module will be downgraded by 1 grade. Oh, that's good. This will temporarily reduce the module's performance, but the enhanced blueprint will ultimately grant a superior performance than the module's current configuration. Well, that's fucking good of you. Right. Well, I can only do 2 of these because I haven't got any more pharmaceutical isolators. Right, so okay. Right, what's the experimental effect? Thermal spread. Utterly pointless. Optimal mass. Optimal multiplier. I can't remember if it's the optimal mass or optimal multiplier that is really important. So in fact all of these experimental effects are just giving you some of the positives that you would have got in the previous fucking thing. So, you know, I could get this stripped down thing so that the mass is lowered. So now optimal multiplier is at 130, whatever that is, but now I can't fit an experimental effect because I can't do another one of those. Material can be traded at a Xeno trader. I'm sure it was a was it materials trade? Actually, I'll tell you what I'll do. Alright, so we'll pin this blueprint. And then let's piss off back to the station. And try then to use it via the was it that material, no, the engineer, that the remote one from the station, you know, the fucking one.
Ship released. Departure authorized.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
So, as far as the engineers go, if you get a new ship, it looks like you have to do it all from scratch, from 1 to 5 on every component. And if you have an existing ship, you have to, well, lose a grade and then do all of your grade 5s again. So yeah, basically if you've got an existing ship, don't bother trying to engineer it anymore. Or at least not if you know what you're engineering is already at grade 5. I'm not a fan of the new engineering setup, to put it mildly. Let's see what's at that signal source. Oh, fucking cunt. Alright, what about this one? Wrong fucking one. Alright, what about this one? Alright, what's at this? Oh, you fucking piece of shit! Oh, what's that, this one? Encoded emissions, you fucking useless cunt. Are you fucking having a laugh? No destination locked. I had it fucking locked.
Frameshift drive charging. Ready to engage. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Alright, let's try that again, shall we? There we go.
Delay C, Lima Uniform Kilo. This is Federal Flight Control. Request docking if you wish to land. Landing permission granted. You are clear for approach to pad 09er. Maintain current heading until further instruction.
Oh, by my standards, that was a smooth entrance.
Landing gear deployed.
Right, so
Touchdown. Ship secured.
remote workshop. We got that link. Alright, so engines. Yeah, so I can only do the grade 5 dirty dry tuning, but I haven't got the pharmaceutical isolators. So let's try and get some of those. Pharmaceutical isolators, right, and I will have to trade. Right, well, biotech conductors, they keep giving them away in missions, so right, one of them. And oh, for fuck's sake, I'll select it again. Right, trade those. Right, there we go. Right, so now I've got 2 of those. Let's go back here. And now I can do, well, I can generate the modification, but I can't do an experimental effect. So, right, 1. Oh, okay, experimental effects can only be applied at engineer workshops. And now, right, okay, so now I'm going to run out of cracked industrial firmware as well as pharmaceutical isolators. So this is definitely the last one, which didn't do a great deal, but there we go. So by the looks of it, I've now completely maxed out what this will do. So apparently the dirty dry tuning is now maxed. Let's see what a difference that's made.
Landing coupler disengaged. Clear for departure.
Let's first of all see if I can actually get out of this fucking thing without hitting the exit. Yes, I fucking did. Oh, there you go. So there's an improvement already. Right, so what's my speed now like? 261, 2. Isn't that what it was at the start before I even did the dirty dry tuning. Seems fast enough though, I suppose. I don't fucking know. Fast is pretty relative when you're flying an Anaconda.
Federal Flight Control signing off.
Anyway, that is first look at Beta 3, and I'm frankly amazed that I'm sitting here thinking that there are more good things about it than bad things. So yeah, surprised. Right, anyway, that's enough of this one. This video has gone on for fucking long enough as it is, so now go away.